So, at the end of the note, I write, it would mean everything. And I underline it heavily. And at the very bottom of the piece of paper, I put my name. We go off to lunch, and by the time I come back, there's something different in Tony. He's looking at me nonstop. Maybe 400 times by the end of the night. I mean, constantly. He gets off the stage at one point, and he's talking, and he's like coming next to me. He's looking at me, and he gets on stage. He'll pull his chair up if he wants to sit down. He'll pull it right in front of my seat. So we start dancing. We start having a good time. And he's looking at me. And I start dancing. And I point at Tony, and he points at me. It was crazy. It was crazy. Later on in the night, he starts asking the audience, how are you going to make a change? How are you going to make a change? How are you going to make a change? And he comes over and he looks at me, what are you going to do different? And I'm telling him, I'm like, I'm going to do this different. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like getting in the stage. He's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to do this. He's like, yeah. It's crazy. So, at the very end of the night, do you remember what my request was? My request was that my hero makes space in his mind for me. And that would mean the world to me. So at the very end of the night, he says, your energy was amazing. He said, I'm never going to forget this night. I am going to remember this forever. He says, I'm never going to forget this night. I'm going to remember this forever. And that's the story of how I met my hero.